So a lot of you guys out there know that right at the top of the hour, at least the early morning hours, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Pacific, Disney drops things. And so today I'm looking at what they dropped on Twitter right at 9 o'clock. And of course, Ahsoka's the big one tonight. The Journey Begins, 6 p.m. Pacific. But more importantly, a promo for Vacation Friends 2. Kyle, did you see Vacation Friends 1?
No. I mean, I know one of the actors can't be seen.
Why? Oh, haha. But
we make the same joke every time. How do you
I know, and I don't get it every time. But that was a guilty pleasure in my household, Vacation Friends. So I'm now looking forward to this sequel. Anyway, I'm Doobie. That's Kyle, co-founder of Laughing Place, managing editor of Laughing Place. You don't care who we are. We are here to talk about what's going on in the world of Disney on this exciting day. It is always exciting when a new show is launching on Disney Plus, especially when it's a Star Wars show. So we're going to start there in just a moment with our official review of Ahsoka from our Star Wars insider. I think we should start using the term insider like sports does. Our Star Wars insider, Mike Celestino. But first we have to do the couple of things we always do, starting with hashtag insider. There you go. Oh, I forgot to say hello. Only one. Hey, Nikki B. Proof.
Yeah, he LOL'd. He literally LOL'd when he saw that before we went live.
I did. And well, tell him we said hello, and I'm glad you're here. Gio's mom. All right, we're going to start with the stock price. Kyle, as he does every morning, will guess the price of the Disney stock within 32 cents. What is it, Kyle?
Whoa, 32 cents.
Yeah.
Well, I was feeling pretty flat, but if we're going to make it 32 cents, then I guess I'll bump it up a bit. 87.7. Or no, sorry, 85.7. I apologize.
$85.70?
Yes.
We had... Wow.
Good thing I bumped it up. I was going to just say 85.5 again.
Way to go, Kyle. You are now 5-2. Very impressive. I will adjust the range you need to be in to
every day.
That out. All right, now let's hear what our buddy has to say.
Here's Ethan.
Good day one and all, and welcome to another LP Disney weather report. I don't know when to start or when to stop. My luck's like a button. I can't stop pushing it. My head feels light, but I'm still in the dark. Seems like without tenderness, there's something missing. Tenderness. Where is the tenderness? Where is it? Let's get to the weather. Anaheim will be sunny again today and will warm to a high of 84 degrees. Tonight's low will be south of 70, so you may still want to have a sweatshirt on deck. Walt Disney World is also in for another sunny day with likely no rain. Their high will be 93, which means a triple-digit heat index. Castaway Cay saw some storms earlier, but will be partly cloudy for the rest of the day and night, with temps in the mid to upper 80s throughout. Disneyland Paris is also in the mid-80s right now with sunny skies, but they'll get down to a low of 72 by the end of the night. Unfortunately for those visiting Tokyo, tomorrow is set to be stormy once again, with scattered thunderstorms possible from the early morning through the mid-afternoon. However, there should be a few dry hours in the evening. It will also be quite warm, with a high of 89 that feels like 102. Continuing the deja vu theme, Shanghai will basically mirror Tokyo again tomorrow, with storms lasting into the afternoon before clearing in the evening. Lastly, Hong Kong may have a couple of storms in the morning, but will be mostly cloudy during the day with a heat index just over 100. And that's all for today's weather. It's once again 3-show Tuesday, but it could turn into even more. So be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, and select all notifications so you know whenever we go live. Bye for now.
Emotion, the raw emotion that comes through.
I felt like I was watching Liam Neeson and Taken. It's listening to a Breezy Pop song. It's like I called it the most transformative cover he's done so far.
Crazy. I love that song too. General Public, Tenderness, one of my, definitely a top 50 all-time song for me. Love that very much. What is it? Ranking Roger and Dave Wakeling, I think that's who General Public is, if I remember right.
I don't know. That's impressive.
I forgot to tell you this before we started, so I'm going to do this on the air. I told you I'm using a new webcam. We had some major echo issues from me yesterday during Park Talk, so just let me know if you hear any echoes today, please, Kyle. Yes, Doobie shirt provided by Roosevelt.
That's what you're going to bring up. But
I think my absolute favorite shirt, I personally think I look my best in this shirt. So if you disagree, I don't really want to know. All right, so we're going to start today. Ahsoka, the latest blockbuster Star Wars series coming to Disney Plus tonight at 6
Can
Pacific,
it bust a
9
block
Eastern.
if you watch it online? Like the Blockbuster, the idea is that people will be lined up around the block to go see it at the movie theater. So if it's just premiering online, can it be a Blockbuster?
In a sense, TCP/IP is really blocks being sent through the internet, and so I think Blockbuster still applies. If you prefer Packet Buster, we can. But packets are essentially blocks.
We're gonna create new nomenclature for successful streaming shows.
The latest Disney Plus Star Wars Packet Buster. So exciting. I am anxious to see Twitter tonight to see if there's a lot of buzz going on with Ahsoka, as there should be with the premiere that people can actually watch together. But anyway, our own Mike Celestino.
Oh, there's the glitch. It finally came. He got 7 minutes, 14 minutes without it, Doobie. But yeah, we're going to go through Mike's review. We're going to read the headline and the last paragraph, which gives you basically all you need to know about the review. But you could read the whole thing anyway on laughingplace.com.
Am I back?
Yes.
All right, so here's the link to the review. Sorry. Doing some technical experimentation, and I will not be glitching any further. So here is our Star Wars Insider Mike Celestino's review. Here's the headline. TV review. Lucasfilm Star Wars Ahsoka takes its time getting where it's going, and that's a great thing. I believe that's exactly what he used in his social media tweet.
Not exactly. He said deliberate pacing is a great thing. He changed it up a little bit.
Really? Kind of on top of things, right? And then that final paragraph, oh my goodness. Well, Star Wars Ahsoka premieres this evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, exclusively via Disney Plus, but that's not the one we want. Is word getting out that this is what we're doing, so people are using extra long paragraphs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. But my absolute favorite thing about Ahsoka, and the first thing I said to my guest at the screening after it came to an end, is how much it takes its time getting where it's going. Funny, that's the same thing Benji said. Pacing-wise, the tone of the show feels more like Andor than The Mandalorian, and I think that's terrific. Scenes are allowed to breathe and play out organically rather than being rushed along by the rapid-fire editing that plagues most movies and television series these days. And by the end of episode 2, the adventure is really only getting started, which also reminded me of Andor's first arc. I suspect by the end of this season, Ahsoka is going to feel more like an extended movie than an episodic TV show, and to me, the part I've already seen works spectacularly. The cast is great. The direction and the use of the volume virtual production stage is masterful, with Filoni and company having built on their stagecraft experience via the above-listed series, and the action, when it does arrive, skillfully punctuating the quieter moments with excitement, is a lot of fun. I'm really thankful that the creators of Ahsoka, including everyone at both Lucasfilm and Disney, are going against recent trends and letting the show play out at a more subdued, restrained rate than might be expected. Not everyone is going to love it for that reason, Benji, but I definitely appreciate it. It only makes me more excited to see the rest of the season. Speaking of which, I'll be doing individual episode recaps and reviews beginning tonight, so check back here at laughingplace.com for more Star Wars Ahsoka content coming very soon.
It would have been funny if you put Benji in parentheses in the review like he did.
He did not, but I feel it was appropriate. Benji's still the only person I personally know who did not enjoy Ahsoka.
You know, like 4
tonight that saw it. I know more than 4 people in general. Ahsoka. Mike's review right there is spoiler free, but as he said, starting tonight, he will be doing in-depth spoiler episode recaps of each episode. And then tomorrow, Thursday, he will be doing Who's the Boss, where they will be doing live episode recaps along with the rest of the Star Wars news. His guest on this first episode will be my wife, Rebecca Mosley. So looking forward to that on Thursday. I got to make sure I see it between now and then. You gonna watch it tonight?
No, probably not, but maybe.
Okay. If you watch the first 90 minutes of Ahsoka and are bored, flip on over to Disney Trivia Live, because we're going head to head today, 7:30 p.m.
Because you half a second episode if you started right on time.
So future weeks, at least, I guess will be okay, because they'll be over before DTO, but it's 2-episode drop.
Well, I think you were just such a juggernaut that Disney felt the need to counter program you. It's kind of like, when they premiere The Voice, they're going to put it against American Idol.
I mean, we do have more than -1 viewers every single episode, so it's quite impressive. All right, let's move on to. So it took me a while to understand exactly what this is. Go for it, Kyle. What the heck is this?
So this is a new podcast coming. It's a story podcast. It's going to take place after the events of Frozen 2. It's in a collaboration between Disney Publishing, ABC, and Disney Animation. And so some of the details that are lacking are, like, obviously Anna and Elsa are featured on here. They don't really mention from what I saw, the voices returning for those, but they do mention some new characters and things like that. Ginger Z is in it. At least we know that. Ginger Z will be playing an announcer or doing like the announcing for it or something like that. But yeah, so it's interesting, and it's going to be a story podcast. It's calling it a first of its kind sort of a thing, and kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Comes out in October.
12 episodes. The most surprising part of this is the 10th anniversary of Frozen is approaching.
Do you think there's more or less?
Oh, always less. There's never been something like more. 10 years, wow. Even though that's one where I knew it was 2013, but still. 2013 doesn't feel like 10 years ago. That's cool. Do you? I know you're a podcast listener. Do you like listening to narrative podcasts as opposed to?
I don't think I've ever listened to a narrative podcast. I think Becca listened to. I think is it Homecoming? That was a narrative podcast. I think she listened to that. I've only listened to. I've read some fantasy books. I'm usually more of a nonfiction book fan, especially audiobooks. So yeah, I haven't really listened to narrative podcast or audiobooks for that matter.
Homecoming is the one I've listened to as well, and then I tried watching the TV show and couldn't quite make it through. They made a show based on the podcast. Let's see what else we got here. A lot of merchandise stuff today. Corksicle, which I know some of our people absolutely love. You're a big Corksicle fan, aren't you, Kyle?
Well, Becca's a fan of the original actual Corksicle, which is a thing that you chill and you put it in your bottle of wine. That's where they got the name from, because it looks like an icicle and it goes in it has a cork. But since then they've expanded and they do all these cups that Tony Betty, I know, is a big fan of. So yeah, this is some princess collection items. They look nice. I'm sure that they are pricey, but I've heard that they're worth it if you want to keep your drink nice and cold at all times.
Yeah, it looks like $34.95 for a set of these, and a great way to celebrate World Princess Week. Would you consider this a World Princess Week entry?
Yeah, okay. But if you're asking about the short code, it's probably because of conflict of product versus.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I was actually going to ask privately, but yeah, you made it public. That's fine.
Well, just the way you said it, I'm like, oh, he's teeing us up to.
I did, but then I'm like, I'll just type it in the private chat and not actually say it over here. But as we talked about on Disney Parks Talk Live yesterday, and if you missed Disney Parks Talk Live yesterday, where you been? It's a good show. We had a lot of fun ripping on Jeremiah for poo-pooing the trams. I don't understand. Never mind. Anyway, but we did talk about. I understand that he thinks the trams are a waste. It's quicker to walk, but not everyone feels that way.
I agree. I've strictly I'm anti-tram in that I have no interest in taking a tram myself, but that doesn't mean I don't want other people to take trams.
Yeah, it's something to be celebrated. You know, there are a lot of rides I don't ride, but I love when they come back up for refurb.
I love walking past the line at Disneyland for people waiting for the tram while I walk through downtown Disney and head back to the. I know it's a different path these days. I haven't parked at Disneyland Resort and I can't even tell you how many years.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, me either. I never parked at Disneyland Resort. I happily will walk past the tram at Disney World, but for some reason the walk at Disneyland just seems so long that I can't remember ever walking to that place, except when the trams weren't running, obviously. You have no choice. But discounting is happening in Disney Springs, and lots of it at the Co-op store. Let's see. got adult apparel, a lot of choices there where you can buy one and get one at 50% off. And then Tommy Hilfiger's 30% off. And Jeremiah said this stuff actually came out relatively recently. And then the one that really surprised Jeremiah is some of the figurines, like this one here, are 30% off, and the Peter Pan as well. So if you're in the market for some of these things, go check it out.
It's not the 50th anymore.
50th is over. The discounts are coming. Donna says, trams, the pre-show excitement of arriving, especially in the, I mean, I know some people are in a hurry, but I love that tram ride in the morning. You get the spiel, getting you all excited. I like sitting around everyone else who is all excited about going to the park. It's an important part of starting your day.
You like the driver, your tram is clear? Honk, honk.
I remember back when they used to do at Disneyland, the Russian, why the trams are red. I like that. They're rushing around and Russians are red. It was a very long thing that ended that way. This was, back in the 80s, maybe. Toy awards, Kyle.
Yeah.
You know anything about them?
I know that there are awards given for toys, and that Disney-related products made a showing and are nominated for several of these awards, correct?
15 of them, to be exact. Of the 122 toys, games, and properties nominated, Disney licensed products have received a total of 15 nominations, where when you put it like that, it seems kind of weak, but 15 is still not bad. You can vote now at toyawards.org through September 8th. So let's make sure Disney gets some winners there. Do you know the name of the toy award?
I did when I read the headline, but then I forgot it again.
It's the Toddies.
That's hot.
T-O-T-Y. Maybe it's Toadies, but I suspect it's Toddies. Let's see. Got that. We got that. Toy awards. ABC in their stellar fall season has announced some premiere dates.
Yeah, I think Ken Jennings. If you recall, when they announced this, actually, when they first announced a permanent replacement, it was supposed to be Mike. The one guy was doing the daytime show, and Mayim Bialik was going to be doing the primetime specials. Then that quickly ended, and then Ken came in, and then now it's been Ken and Mayim kind of switching off during the daily shows, but it was still supposed to be Mayim at night, except for like the tournament of the super champion whatever tournament that they had recently. Ken hosted that. So anyway, all this to say, Mayim was supposed to host Celebrity Jeopardy this season, like she did last season, but Ken is doing it because Mayim is she's SAG and she's standing in support with the WGA. So he will be hosting that. And then that on the other side is the Golden Bachelor. And I think the Bachelor is going to be airing on Thursday nights, which is different than its normal, how it's done in the past. And I think both BIP and Golden Bachelor are airing at the same time.
Yep.
BIP.
Bachelor's in Paradise?
Bachelor in Paradise, yes.
Bachelor in Paradise.
Real fans call it BIP.
They're airing at the same time?
Not the same time, but I mean like the same, like at the same, in the same part of the season. Like
gotcha.
You'll get double The Bachelor in the fall, is my understanding.
Have you been watching The Golden Bachelor?
It hasn't started yet.
Are you interested in The Golden Bachelor?
Not really. We had a brief Bachelor phase, and we're over it. It was very brief because our friends watched it, and then once they stopped watching it, then it was like, well, what's the point? Like, we got into it because of you. So if we're not going to talk about it with you, then why are we doing this to ourselves? The most exciting, the most dramatic season finale ever.
Kyle's a follower, not a leader. So Celebrity Jeopardy, September 27th.
We also don't have linear television. That also kind of hindered it. I'm not going to watch The Bachelor on replay. I'm just going to put it on because it's on.
You get an antenna? It's on ABC, right?
Yeah, and the antenna, we must be in just like it works masterfully for a couple hours, and then it craps out again. It's weird.
Season 15 of Shark Tank is returning September 29th. Shark Tank is now my go-to. There's nothing on TV. I'm just going to put something on. I watched both Shark Tanks. all the time. Yeah, I mean, I DVR'd them all. Oh, no, they're on Hulu too. Yeah. Are you a big Shark Tank fan?
Yeah, I enjoy Shark Tank. I've purchased quite a few Shark Tank products, both ones that got deals and that didn't. One of my favorites that didn't get a deal is one that I bring to theme parks with me all the time. It's called the Quick Flip Hoodie. And what it is, a regular hoodie, but then you take it off and it turns into a backpack. And every time I do it, people are like, wait, didn't you have a... Huh? It blows their mind. It's fantastic. You don't have to tie the sweatshirt around your waist. You have a nice little backpack you can put stuff in. Yeah, that's it.
It's a hoodie.
Thumbs up. Recommend.
It's a
Would recommend.
It just didn't get a deal.
Didn't get a deal. The Sharks are like, I don't see a use for this. I'm like, y'all don't wear hoodies. That's why. Like, you're always dressed too. Maybe Mark Cuban, but he lives in Dallas, so he probably doesn't have a ton of use for a hoodie. But
as genius as those guys are, never forget they passed on the Ring doorbell because they just did not see a use for this. So.
I got security dogs.
Everyone misses.
What are you talking
about? Disney has released yet another foodie guide. This one for the Plaza de la Familia at the Disneyland Resort, coming up on September 1st. So go check that out. Did you happen to see this foodie guide, Kyle?
I didn't. Are we talking about it though?
I wasn't going to go through it, but if you had anything in particular that you were interested in, let me ask you. I know you're so picky on your foods, so I just want to see. This look good to you?
The popcorn bucket? What do you want me to, in terms of what?
As a popcorn bucket.
As a popcorn bucket, I mean, well, as a piece of art, because can't really judge it on the function of popcorn bucketing, but I like the art a lot. I think it's pretty cool.
But the fact, let's assume it is a popcorn bucket. Would not trying to eat popcorn out of this just kill your appetite?
I don't think it would kill my appetite. I think it'd be kind of annoying depending on where where it actually holds the popcorn. Like if you had to dig like all the way down and there's a curve there, like that's annoying.
But the visual of it doesn't turn you off of food at all?
No, it's very playful and fun. While we're talking about difficulty of containers, can I ask you, when did we decide that all glasses need to look like cans? Like this just happened over the past few years. And any glass I get, it's got the curves in like it's a can.
I don't know. Did you check with IEEE to see if maybe there was an edict that this is what glasses are now?
I guess, like, it was kind of like, a few years ago, everything you got was in a mason jar, which was also not a great time. And now we're on this can thing where I don't understand. I don't understand.
I 100% agree with you on the mason jar thing. I don't get that. That's like regressing. We progressed to beyond mason jars, and now they're trying to take us back. I'm so excited about Benji. Are you free to just give your opinion of Ahsoka as someone who's seen it? If we can get a live opinion, are you available down there? All right. So this is Benjamin Breitbart. He is the head cheese. The big cheese here at Laughing Place. And he also has seen Ahsoka already. And I would just like to get your opinion. We heard from Mike Celestino earlier. What did you think of Ahsoka's episode 1 and 2?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I will keep up with it, but it is very slow. Like, very, very slow. I wonder if I see it at, I saw it in a theater. I wonder if I see it at home, if it will change my perception when I really have some things to get me distracted.
When you're doing many other things while watching. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing is that, like, you can go to the bathroom and not have to pause it.
Wow. So just boring. Not bad, but boring.
No, it's not boring. Boring is the wrong word because what's happening is interesting. It's just every shot is long. It's like you get the point, and then, I mean, I agree with Mike that, like, I think many times modern movies are too fast, but this is overcompensating. It's like you don't move that slow in the real world.
Sorry about that.
No. It is just like, it's like if you have something and you go like, oh, here's how to do the puzzle. You just do it. You don't. and then like you just finish it. You don't wait forever. You're not intentionally slow. Once you make the decision, you do it. Especially when you know there's bad guys chasing you. It's like there's no urgency for these people, except when they say, "We better get moving."
Thanks, Ben. So kind of a slow show today. So anything in your head, you're always thinking Disney head, that you want to share with the world?
I think what's interesting, and did we talk about the investor conference?
Nope.
So they're doing an investor day in September, kind of around the same time as Destination D23. And it was supposed to be this like big, long, maybe even multi-day event. And they cut it to half a day, just focused on parks, which is, I think, kind of what, we see that too, right? Like, obviously with the strikes, there's not a lot going on the film movie side except releasing things. I don't know if you guys talked about the creator fan event that they're doing, because they can't use like celebrities or anybody to promote these things.
I'm a big fan of a movie that's not a franchise and hasn't come out yet.
Good point. But I think because they have nothing else to talk about, I'm really excited for them to just finally announce. I don't know if you guys saw like the Dino Land social media stuff going on, but just do it. Like, it's just this like calm before the storm, and I'm ready for the storm to come.
2 weeks, man. 2 weeks, the storm is going to unleash. Are you going to be ready for it?
Well, it's 3 weeks, and no. I mean, we're so rusty. It's like I feel like we need to go cover like something else just to kind of get like in the habit of actually having a sense of urgency. We're like Ahsoka. We're the Ahsoka of websites.
We've been anticipating this for so long. Is there any way that whatever is announced can live up to the hype, or are we just destined to be disappointed?
Oh, there's no way it's gonna live. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just remember being like, oh man, it's gonna be so excited to be at the expo, because like they're finally, like, COVID's over. They're finally gonna announce all these things that they've been working on. Josh tells us they have so much they're working on, and then it's like, maybe we might build something over here.
I'm predicting the highlights will be they're actually going to end up doing the Mary Poppins attraction and the Play Pavilion at Epcot.
And that theater on Main Street.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that one. No, I'm sure. Do you think they will, your opinion, do you think they will announce something major? They will tell us what's beyond Big Thunder?
I think there's going to be major announcements. I just don't know if like they almost ruined it by last time. It's like, if they had actually announced that Dino Land project, that would have been a major deal last time. But because they kind of teased it, now it's almost sort of like it's going to happen. And it's almost, in many ways, I feel like if they announce Disney World, because they kind of tip their hand a bit, is not as exciting as Disneyland to me, because we don't know. We know that they're doing a big project, but we just don't know what it's going to be. I just don't know if this will be, if we're too.
Well, they can explain to us what exactly an avatar experience is, or whatever.
Right. I mean, it's like, I imagine, like, how like in Hong Kong and Shanghai, like they build those like tents where it's like, basically El Capitan exhibit, and it's the Iron Man attraction. I'm hoping it's not that, but
they've I think, I forget who, but they've said like, it'll be on the same scale of Pandora. In fact, I remember D23 headlined it, "Oh, Pandora coming to Disneyland," and then they changed it. So many mixed signals about that. I think it should be a shoe-in to be announced and fleshed out if it's not, because that is probably the most confusing thing floating in the theme park.
Well, it's also like, is it going to be, I'm of two minds of it, right? Like, do I want something smaller just to preserve the space? It's not like Animal Kingdom, there's just all this sort of land around, but at the same time, isn't it going to get criticized for being the baby version, the Disney World Pirates version of Pandora? I don't know. It's just such a big piece of footprint in Florida that it's not the franchise I'm the most passionate about. I mean, obviously they can get creative with space, and we'll see what they do, but It's this weird. I know we have some news coming next week that, well, it's announced, right? We know that we're going to get the treasure reveal, which will be a nice little appetizer. So, because while we know the treasure's coming, it's not a big, people I think are wondering what the space equivalents are going to be, right, on treasure.
Right, for sure.
And so, at least they'll give us something to kind of digest until we go into Destination D, and then
Destination D23
fallout. What's the time frame? There's so many questions. Doobie's on vacation, but we're gonna have so much to process. Hopefully, right?
Hopefully. I do need to correct you on something. It's Destination D23.
Yeah, I kind of refuse to do that just out of.
It's easy to refuse to do things.
They're changing the name. It's like when they start saying, it's like when I write up their post and it says it's $49 with a $7 processing fee. I said, no, it's a $56 ticket.
I
bet you have a problem with resort fees too. Mandatory resort fees.
I hate resort fees.
That's why
just charge me. It's so stupid on something where it's like I'm not going to stay here if it's $140 and but if it's $120 plus a $20 resort fee.
Where are you staying if there's only $20 resort fee?
I don't stay at places that have resort fees for the most part.
No, they do. You just don't pay them because you book with points or you get them waived because of status.
I have a great resort fee story that I need to tell Kyle that I can't tell here. But
good thing you mentioned it. You said something earlier about Dinoland Social. I don't know what you're talking about.
So the Chris Beatty and some senior Imagineers were seen walking around Dinoland, which was one of the projects that was teased. In fact, it's funny. Last time I shouldn't say last time, but one of the times recently when the 50th started, I went to Kite Tails, and I'm standing there.
That is funny.
Yeah, I'm standing in front of the Theater in the Wild, and suddenly Pete Docter walks up and starts pointing at this empty sign for the Theater in the Wild. I was like, that's weird. And what it was they were taking pictures of him doing it so that they could Photoshop it in the new Nemo poster.
Wow.
And so you never know who you're going to see, especially on a weekday, because, God forbid they go on a weekend, who you're going to see at the park and what they might be thinking and dreaming.
Remember when there were people walking on the People Mover platform, and that totally resulted in a brand new attraction. So these are surefire things. If you ever see anybody walking around a place, get ready.
So there may have been some guy who used to work at the Magic Kingdom who, whenever he would see bloggers, would get a group of his fellow Disney managers and would go someplace and just start pointing and pulling out blueprints, even though we weren't working on a program.
Put up a hype balloon for no reason.
Yeah, well, just to mess with people.
That is funny. I saw Pete Docter once at Target. I did not think he was working on a project. I just saw him.
Oh, Disney's expanding to the Target.
Was that before they started putting Disney stores in Target? Was that
well before? That was right after I moved here to Northern California, and I'm at Target, and I'm like, oh my, is this what living here is going to be? There's Pete Docter standing right there.
I gotta say, doing Burbank, the Oakland to Burbank flight quite frequently, we have Pete Docter, Jonas Rivera. It's sort of
my last trip back on that Burbank to Oakland, Scott Trowbridge was on my flight.
I've had Dave Filoni, speaking of Ahsoka.
Flying back from Orlando to LAX, I sat next to the Disney artist Noah.
Oh.
Better than that.
I knew him.
I was once almost sitting next to Ashley Eckstein. Then they came on the plane and said they'd offer $500 if I took a later flight. So, peace out, Ashley.
Oh man, I would pay $500 to sit next to Ashley Eckstein.
No, you pay to sit next to David.
Yeah, it was also a red eye. By the time I sat down, she was already had her pillow out and was like, and I was like, well, we're not going
to. Was it an Ahsoka pillow?
Like, oh my God, can I get your picture? Yeah, that's totally the classy way to fly. Have you ever seen the Pixar parking spots at Oakland?
No.
there's reserved spots for Pixar employees. They have the little like Luxo ball there. I think they get like have a pass. So that, yeah, and there's banners. So it's like, why is Luxo finally like random banners? It turns out they just have like special parking because they fly out of Oakland.
That's the story. Next time you see those, get some pictures. That's really interesting.
That's a good point. I never thought about it. But yeah.
All right, thanks, man. We're almost. Stick around. We're just gonna do.
That's a future "Did you know" post on Instagram.
Let's do a really cute, cute
Pocket
thing
pick.
that we do. Pocket pick. Thank you. And then we have a very short This Day in Disney History, and then we'll be done. So. Jim Sparks. I think it's adorable.
A Halloween costume.
It's Halloween time. I think it's cute because it's not too professional. It's still very amateur. Yes.
I have a personal question. If you were growing up now, would all this stuff that's online inspire you to be more creative and accomplish more things, or would it just make you depressed that you don't accomplish anything and do cool things?
Oh, kids, especially when it's a kid doing it, go, yeah, I can do that. I mean, I see it in my own son. I think I'm the only one of us three that has a child. And I think seeing YouTube has made him so much more creative than he otherwise would have been, for sure.
Because I used to love doing stuff like that, but I would have never done it at that scale. Like, I mean,
that's okay. I don't know. There's something about being a kid where he sees people make homemade pinball machines, and then he made a homemade pinball machine, and it can't compare to theirs. But he never would have tried, and he loves the one he made.
No, I didn't mean like I feel bad. I just don't know that I would have ever even thought of like I would take a box and turn it into something, and I'd be like, wow, look what I made, and like I would have never thought to add lights to it. But now,
yeah, but now you will.
Yeah,
inspiring. Right, let's do this.
There's also different technologies now, though. Like, remember, like having a battery that you can power stuff with and plug directly into wasn't really a thing. Anyway, sorry.
Controlling things
like
like
the new light brights, right? And
how thin they are.
They're super thin, and you don't have like burn your hand on the back every time you do.
Yeah, it doesn't double as a easy bake oven. It's
right.
All right, This Day in Disney History, the portion of the show in which we try to stump Kyle, and in this case, Benji, with something important that happened on this day in Disney history. We've only got two today. On this day in 1967, a fantastic actor was born with some important Disney credits, including National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets and Muppets Most Wanted.
Ty Burrell.
Ty Burrell, you're right. Most well known for Modern Family, of course, but Muppets Most Wanted role is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And on this day,
don't forget Awesome Planet.
And you're gonna forget the Gildan whatever Colortopia show.
Oh yeah,
make it so clear. And finally, on this day in 2008, Disney Channel original movie premiered. Not the first installment, not the second installment, but the third installment in this spectacularly successful franchise.
What?
Wow, how did you nail that so fast, Ben?
Because it's the only one that came out in 2008 that was like a threequel.
No one remembers what DCOMs came out in 2008. Can you just give the DCOM list by year off the top of your head?
No, I probably couldn't do exhaustive, but if you gave me like a DCOM, I may be able to figure out what year.
All right, one moment.
Pick one.
So Raven's not in that one?
Raven's not in that one. It was quite the thing.
I
know the first original official DCOM was in 1997 under wraps.
Not going too esoteric. I don't want to just stump you, but not an easy one. How about Zapped?
Oh, Zapped. That's hard. I don't know that one.
A bit easier than that. That was 2014. Phineas and Ferb, the movie Across the Second Dimension.
That was 2011, August,
Right.
I believe.
Goodness. August 5th, yes. I'm not even going to go anymore. Man. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Now you know what we have to live with every single day here at Laughing Place. Toodles.